This is the Silver Wolf Howl. I am Angela, and today we're discussing our new whistleblower system. In our What's New slot this month, we are chatting about our new project that we've just launched in partnership with DML Forensics and Xono, the anonymous whistleblower app. We've put together a complete system that makes that whole process so much easier, as well as the follow-up from that. So Ryan is joining me today, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about the system, and I'll be picking his brain on it. So hi Ryan, welcome.
Good day, Angela, and to the listeners. Thank you for having me over again. And for the next topic.
Yeah, so we're chatting about our whistleblower system this time in partnership with DML Forensics and Xono. Let's start with an overview. Maybe you can just give us a summary, like an overview of what the whole system is and the Xono app. Let's start there.
Xono, Angela, is something that many companies need. You know, when you're at a company and things go wrong, people's behavior, stuff you don't like that is happening, things that you see, things that you hear. Many times you have to complain to a team leader, a manager, a floor manager, someone else above you, or your supervisor. And the furthest these go is HR. And majority of the time, it ends there. And there is no conclusion, or it's nothing really gets done with it. Now, Xono is an application where it's rolled out to the company across the floor, all levels of staff, and anyone that has an issue within the business, anything that's got to do with what's happening where you work. Someone can now access the app and type out what the concerns are, and they can name like if it's a perpetrator, or be it theft, or if they've even seen something. So you can basically tell your bit and just leave it there, and then people on the other side, not on the company side, an external party will then see that there is an issue at this business, and they will then take it from their side.
Okay, so basically what you're saying, Ryan, is that if I have some kind of issue in the business, or I've seen somebody up to no good or something, and I need a place to report this, I use this app to report it, and it gets monitored by an outside party. So it's not just the HR lady. If I have a problem with the HR lady, then, it's kind of irrelevant, isn't it then?
It won't go anywhere, because, it is someone's job. This is their work. And, we have to admit, many times there is people that's very good friends at a business. There is family that works at a business. And you as someone that works there, you see irregular behavior with regarding stock. For example, things get stolen, or there is mismanagement of, or staff get treated differently. We will roll out the Xono application to a company. Let's, for example, say it's Toyota. Toyota staff will then have issues, whatever the situation is. Then any staff member will have access to the app. They'll complain or voice their concern, and not voice it, but enter it onto the system, and we as an external party will then investigate that, and we will then bring it to the attention of the company. There will be someone, or a director, or anyone that is looking at having the app for the business. They will then be our contact, and we will then bring the concern to their attention. And especially if there is more than one or two of the same complaints or instances at the business, then we will bring it to their attention. and no one will know who complained or said something.
So that's really what I wanted to ask as well. Is this an anonymous like tip-off line, or do you have to give your name or whatever? Because normally when you have to give your details, that's what puts people off. Then they don't want to, they don't want to be branded as the rat or whatever. So how anonymous is this, or is there a level of anonymity?
There is complete anonymity. When you access the app and you start the conversation, all you will get is a reference number that the system automatically generates, and you can keep that number for later reference if you want to make contact with us, and when you feel it's safe to speak to someone about it. But in all instances, each subject or each instance, the person is given a reference number, and provided that you do not mention your name or give your number on the complaint or whatever the issue is. But there's complete anonymity. There is no trail. It cannot be traced to anybody but a reference on the system.
And my cell phone number, because obviously the app is going to be on my cell phone. So will my cell phone number come up, or, in my using the app?
No cell number, no URL, no site address, nothing at all. It's like a SMS but with no number attached to it.
Okay, well, that sounds at least a bit more promising. So definitely anonymity unless I put my name in the conversation, is what you're saying.
That is correct. I mean, anonymity is a word that has to live up to your standards. So this is a perfectly safe platform to, let's call it what it is, for a whistleblower.
Okay, so how does this app work? So I go online or like to Google Play or something. I download the Xono app, and then I have it on my cell phone, and then what?
You have it on your cell phone, you can log in. It doesn't ask you for any details. Because the app is on it's on your phone, and it cannot be traced to you. So all you do, you just go on the app, and you will then obviously have your company detail or whatever name you want to give it, and then you can enter whatever issues you come across, anything that you see or hear, and once you press enter, it doesn't come back to your cell phone. No one can pinpoint it to you. You're the only one that gets a reference number.
Ah, okay. So it sounds fairly easy. And in terms of training, so if I belong to a particular company, would you have to come and do like training or something like that, or is it kind of fairly easy to pick up?
It's very easy to pick up. If you need training, there is obviously we have to go via someone at the company to offer the rollout, and normally the companies we will encourage them to inform the staff via email that the application is available and that they're welcome to download it. If they need assistance, they can contact anyone that has used it before or that had training on it. But once you're in, and it's basically straightforward. The navigation is very easy. So there's a step-by-step. You'll even figure out the step-by-step. It's like using WhatsApp. WhatsApp was new, You downloaded, you didn't know what to do, but within a few minutes you would have caught on. So the Xono app is very easy, friendly to use, and basically anyone, any age can actually make use of it.
Okay, good. That sounds quite simple. And okay, so in terms of who can use it, you said anyone can use it. So it's anyone in a particular business that has a gripe or has something that they want to point out. You just download this app, use your company profile, and there you go and you start your conversation. And you were saying that this is for like big companies, small companies, or is there a minimum number of people who can use it?
any company. There is no minimum and there is no maximum. We believe that every company isn't perfect, and that is why people come and go. You know, if a company was perfect, those people will be working there all of their lives. People leave because of issues with HR, with staff, um, uh, work ethics. Like I said earlier, employment equity. If they feel, you know, it can be anything: sexual harassment, it can be favoritism, it can be nepotism. People favoring family members over other staff members. It can be theft. It can be anything that you have an issue with at the company and HR, or you're just afraid to even say something because your previous jobs you said something, you got fired. Now there's something and you're too afraid to say it. We believe that every company should have an app like Xono so that the staff can be heard.
Okay. So, Xono app in general can be used in these multi-levels as you described now. So we're talking about the app and this particular system with Silverwolf, the partnership with Silverwolf and DML now. How does that work? After you've explained now the app works and stuff, so how is a partnership between Silverwolf, Xono and DML, how does that all come together?
Well, Xono will then provide us with the app. We will then roll it out to whichever company would like to have it available for their staff, and we will then, as Silverwolf, will then manage the dashboard as the issues come in, be it theft, be it fraud, be it anything that an employee has a problem with at a business. We will then categorize that into, like I said, theft. It will be different categories. And if there's fraud involved, DML, which does forensics, they will then, if it's something that they will need to look into, we will then hand it over to them. If it's investigations or anything that is not forensics related, us as Silverwolf, that's also private investigators. We will then do that part of the business. But forensic side will be DML. Who will deal with anything fraud related, anything that needs to have access to computers, and for paper trails. That's where DML comes in.
Okay, so we've basically got it all covered then. You use the app. There's a monitoring service, so Silverwolf monitors. So it's an external company monitoring this company, so it doesn't have to go to the auntie in HR who's now looking at my complaint. And then from there, it gets followed up by an investigation or whatever needs to happen after that whole conversation has started. Is that really what you're saying? Am I understanding it correctly?
That is correct. We are eliminating the fear that someone will be victimized because they said something. And because the HR auntie could easily pick up the complaint and give it to whoever it is, and that person will be either fired or victimized, or depending on the situation. So this is more like giving the person an opportunity for freedom of speech. So the company is completely ruled out of the equation when it comes to sorting out the matter.
Okay, so and then in terms of following up, so if I send a message now today and I start a conversation on a particular, I saw some theft or I know about something suspicious going on, how quick do I get a response back on my message on the app?
Well, Angela, we will be monitoring the app on every day for the whole week, So there's always someone on the app checking the dashboard for any new queries coming in or incidences. We will then reply on that reference number. We won't know what it is, so we can't give a name or username. So we will basically just reply to that. And if and when the person does go onto the app again to see if someone has actioned or acted on it, we might have a question for them and they can then answer, be it 2 or 3 days or even a week. When they go back on that reference, the conversation will continue. And even so, it will still remain anonymous unless they would want to make contact with us, should the incident require us to need to make contact with them.
So you mean like direct contact? So I say, okay, I want to now talk to you directly, so I don't mind revealing who I am. Here's my cell phone number, that kind of thing.
That is correct, yes, because, like I said, a lot of these people are afraid to speak up, and they'll be using the app maybe for the very first time, and we will need to make them feel convinced that the information is safe and that we are an external party, and that should it be where we need to actually speak to them, we won't ask for their details. We'll provide our information on the reference number on the messaging board that they are on, and they can then make contact with us.
Oh, okay. All right. So, yeah, so then I've got your details and I can decide if I want to then make contact with you then.
Correct, yes.
Okay, that sounds good. And I mean, then I can feel like I'm in control of this whole situation. And if I don't feel comfortable with telling you who I am or giving you more information, I'll just leave it at that and walk away because maybe I'm scared or whatever. But at least I've started the conversation and at least I've given some information about what could possibly be going on, any funny shenanigans or fraud or theft or whatever that's happening there.
Correct. That is 100%. So even if you don't want to provide any further information, we do inform the employer that there is this matter that has come up, and it is for them to then sort it out internally, so that no complaints of this nature is brought to our attention again. So they will, many times, they just want to make known that this is happening and not necessarily want results, but all they want is for it to be sorted out and so that it doesn't happen again.
And also maybe just to, I want you to know that this is happening, but I don't really want to be involved as such. I don't want to be called up as witness, whatever.
Correct. Yeah, many people they just want things to stop, so, and going to HR, they're probably going to HR maybe many times, or everyone on the floor is complaining about something. And people say, look, complain on Xono, and they'll bring it to the attention of the employer, and that's it.
Yeah, much easier, simpler, cleaner way of dealing with these kinds of issues then. So in terms of, so we've spoken a lot about it from the individual's point of view. So in terms of it from a company's point of view, let's just run through some of the benefits. So if I have a business and I've got, say, 50 employees, what am I benefiting out of this?
The main benefit here is knowing finding out how your staff feels, because you can have meetings upon meetings every day, every month. You can have emails going out. You can have motivational speakers coming in. You can have counselors coming and going, and yet the staff won't talk about everything. And having this app, companies will see what's going on. They'll see how they can fix it. People might complain there's no retention measures in place. In other words, people are resigning, but they're not even making an effort to say, look here, how can we keep you here? What is wrong? You hand your resignation in, and then that's it, and there you go. Thank you for your service. But companies will then know, look, we need to work on retention. Let's say that is one of the issues, and how can we go about doing that, and what is causing staff to leave, because staff turnover for a company isn't always good, because you have to keep training and quality drops because you have new people. So the happier your staff members are, and when you hear what is going on the floor, because management don't know what's happening many times, and because they're in meetings 24/7, 365 days a year, but the staff's on the floor, and that is where everything is happening. So companies will be more in tune with their staff and knowing what's happening on the floor.
Okay, so in terms of, like, for my company, how does my staff know what's the difference between theft and fraud, or bribery or corruption, or any one of those types of things? Maybe they don't understand what the difference is, or they don't know that, this particular act that's happening in front of me right now is actually bribery that's going on. They think, oh, it's just one person being nice to the other person or something. In terms of clearing that up, how would this help with that, or is there a separate thing, or how are you handling that kind of thing?
Yeah, but yeah, so DML will provide all the training for the different categories and when to use what category for what type of issue is at hand, or that the person is experiencing. They will cover all of those.
Okay, so that training will then clear up what's the difference between this type of thing and what's the difference between fraud and bribery, for example. Okay, so that's perfect. And then what type of equipment would I need as a company if I was to use this whole system? Would I need to get special equipment, or, special anything, people, whatever? What do I need?
You don't need anything, because you just need to agree to have Xono. You be to for use by your staff. Your staff can go on the App Store, download Xono. The company will be given a code, and they use that code, and that's it. So you, the company, just need to say yes for Xono, and inform the staff to say there is an app available that you can use if you need to complain about anything within the business. It's on the App Store, and it's free to download, and that's it. Straightforward.
Oh, okay. That sounds very easy. So other than paying that subscription fee for the app, there's nothing that me as a company that I would need to get going with this. You're providing the app, you're providing the training to tell my employees exactly what the differences are and what to look out for. There's the app, so I can report stuff on the app, and then Silverwolf does the monitoring. And if there's anything funny or whatever that needs to be brought to any attention, Silverwolf then brings it to the attention of the owners or the directors, bosses, whoever. And something actually then happens, or an investigation, but my complaint just doesn't go into file 13. It actually gets heard by somebody.
That's correct. File 13 will no longer exist after that. Except from the company allowing Xono to be used by the staff. The only thing that will be required from the company after that is just cooperation into sorting the matter out. The company just needs to be on board with whatever issues come up and have it sorted out.
And then would you go out to a company and advise them on what they can do? So say, for example, there's a particular incident that's come up, and you highlight it to the bosses, and then the bosses say, okay, that's all good and well, and we want to do something. What do we do? Do you then go out to Silverwolf and advise them and help them and guide them in that as well?
Yes, we will do that.
I think that will be very useful, because a lot of times employers don't actually know what they can do about this particular situation, and it's not just that they're ignoring the problem. So having Silverwolf be able to offer them that advice and say, these are your options, this is what you can do, that would make a huge difference, and also help them as well to be able to resolve these issues. Are there specific hours with this app? So, in other words, I can only report things during office hours, or how does that work?
The app is available and open 24/7. Even though Silver Wolf, let's say we work 9 to 5, first thing in the morning we will log on and see what is coming, and we will then attend to that. So yeah, so it is 24/7, 365, and it is open all the time. So as soon as we log on, we will then attend to the complaint.
Okay, so I can report at any time, but you will respond to me like as soon as you get back to your office, or as soon as you see the message comes through in the morning.
That's correct. So we will normally as quick as we can. There might be 13, 14, 15 or whatever amount in the queue. But as long as you have your reference number, it will be attended to. And I would say if you do have an issue and you've complained or put down a concern, check in again after 24 hours, and there might be a question from us, just to get clarity or to let you know that it has been seen and that we are attending to that.
Okay, and then if I'm satisfied at that point that something is happening, I don't need to bother to log on again because, what I wanted to say has been heard, so, and I don't want to get involved further than that, so I can just then forget about it.
It's up to you if you want to do it that way. Our aim is to bring it to the company's attention as quick as possible, and hopefully you will hear that that there is a concern, and you will know that that is what you've brought to our attention and we've taken up with the employer. But you can, just forget about it after that. But do check in, because sometimes we might have a question for you.
Okay, all right. I think that sounds very easy. I mean, so easy to use. The company doesn't need any equipment. From the company's perspective, from the individual, all I need to do is download an app onto my phone and just send you a message, like a WhatsApp message kind of thing. So I don't really need any particular training in how to use the actual app. And if there's any training needed to determine what the different types of behaviors or criminal offenses or criminal acts could be within my company, DML provides that training as well. And Silverwolf monitors it, and I will get a response. And if there's anything that needs to be followed up, Silverwolf and DML will then do the investigations on that, on the other end of it. So it sounds like it's a complete package then.
It's complete. It's quick, fast. There shouldn't be any hiccups, and yeah, like they say, easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming to chat about this app and explaining all the ins and outs and details about it. It's very easy, so there's nothing really left to say but go and get the app and use the system, isn't it?
No, it's a pleasure, Angela. One day you're going to walk into a shop and they say Muggin Bean and the girl looks all grumpy, and then you roll out Xono 2, then you come back a week later, then she's smiling because whatever issue she had is sorted out for her.